Hi, I'm here with Simon Madden, and we're in Melbourne, Australia, and we've had a really great in-depth discussion around Simon's career. I'll let Simon detail a little bit more about what he's done in the past, but we were talking a lot about, I guess, the lessons you've learned from your past career to how that's extended across life in general. So I thought it'd be really interesting for everybody to hear your thoughts and your insights. So do you want to introduce what you do and a little bit about your past?
Good man, thank you very much. Simon Madden Consulting. So look up simonmadden.com.au if you want any information on this. I deal with organisations in sustainable high performance. I have a history in professional sport in Australia, so the AFL, Australian football. You can find it on YouTube. I had a long career there, and some would say an illustrious career, which is great. But I've since moved into working with organisations, so coaching, mentoring, public speaking about sustainable high performance. And I think that's I'm really big on how you get people to be good within your organisation, how you get them to stay good. It's a whole lot of things about their attitudes, the behaviours and their choices. And I work with organisations in that area and have done so for 10 years and love it, apart from going over holidays and on holidays and growing a beard.
But I think it looks good. All right.
I might keep it, I might not. I used to have one. But I'm big on the sustainable high performance within organisations.
Yeah, beautiful. So Simon's obviously being wonderfully humble. He's done a lot in professional sport in Australia. And for anybody who doesn't know Australian rules football, it's a team sport, right? So what have you learnt around being part of a team and how that, I guess, extends to the rest of life? I know we were talking about interdependency before.
Well, look, I think that's a word I don't know if I came up with, but I believe in. So we're taught to be independent very early, and there's some things you need to do to be independent in life. But when you're in a team, when you're working in an organisation or a group of lots of people, there is an interdependency. We can't get anything done without other people helping us, and they can't get it done without us. So understanding that you are interdependent within your organisation or within your team, and I'm big on team sports. Once you understand that, it gives you a different perspective on how you get where you want to go. Yes, you have to control your own life and be in charge of your life, but you really need the help and interdependency of others to get there. And as I said, once you understand that, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what I thought was interesting that we talked about before as well was around, I guess, this definition of happiness, or this definition of how you can become successful across the rest of your life, right? Like when you take away the materialism, when you get to a threshold where money can't necessarily buy you happiness anymore, what do you go searching for?
Well, there's a whole lot of books on this about happiness has become a new industry for a lot of people, because even in the American Constitution it says the pursuit of happiness. That doesn't necessarily mean you might get there, but pursuing it. But for us, there's a whole lot of measurement to say that yes, you need money, because somebody who hasn't got money, of course money is important, but after a while you need enough money to be healthy. If you've got wealth, and it means different things to different people, but you've got wealth, then you can have your health. Once you've got your health, you start to look at other things that make you happy. And there's a whole list of those, but it's about, again, that interdependency, about your family, about goals, about aspirations, about fulfillment, about mixing with others, socialising, rewards. There's a whole lot of other things that are really important that aren't money that make people happy.
Yeah.
Once you understand that, it's not just having the money, it's what can I do with that money, with my interdependency on other people, to make them and my life happy. And it's really important. And there's a whole lot of people now are looking more and more intensely into that. But it's not just the money that will make you happy. That'll get you to a certain point in your life. But it's what you do with that money and what you do with the other people that get you happiness.
That's awesome. All right, so through the lens of happiness, or through the lens of interdependency, right? Say we can wind back the clock. You can talk to yourself when you first started the journey. Could be when you first got into professional sport, when you first got into the career after professional sport. What would you tell yourself in terms of lessons, knowing what you know now?
Look, it's a really interesting question, because I think when you go into professional sport, you're not supposed to fail. You're supposed to win.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to lose. But I think you're understanding that you're allowed to fail. I think if I was younger, talking to my younger self, it's okay to fail. You don't want to do it all the time, and you don't want to keep the same failure. Stupidity is doing the same thing and time again and expecting to get a different outcome. But if you fail, that's okay. And then what do you learn from that? What do you learn from that failure? And what do you change to be able to get better?
Yeah.
And part of that failure is that when you fail, you also compare that with what you do well. Then working on what you do well and why and how do you do that? How do you do that and why do you do that? And how can you capture that and repeat it? compare that to, well, when I fail, what did I do wrong and how can I improve it? Knowing that, I think I would tell every young person who, well, I started professional sport at 16, very unusual, that even before that, if you get into your life, it's okay to fail, but what do you learn from that?
Yep.
And when you succeed, what do you learn from that? It's not what you do, it's what you learn from what you do is really important.
I love it. Awesome. Okay, so if anybody wants to check out what you do now, a little bit more about what we've been talking about and kind of your thinking, where can they go?
As I said, look up simonmadden.com.au, in Australia, of course, the RU on the end of it. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, you can find me. I'm an ugly man, but you can still find me, okay?
Awesome. Also Google Simon Madden, you'll see all the awesome stuff Simon has done and continues to do now. So it was an awesome chat. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good man, thank you.